Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well today. Now today I'm going to be doing the Reread Book Tag. I picked up this tag from Lost in a Bookcase. I've been watching a number of her tags recently and I rarely enjoyed them, and I rarely enjoy this one in particular because I do tend to reread. Now I thought I'd give it a go, so here goes. Let's assume you do reread if you're doing this tag. So where do you sit on the rereading scale from almost never to all the time? This is a bit of a tough one. I do tend to reread a couple of times a year, but I tend to reread series rather than individual books. So on one hand, it might be 1 or 2 times a year, but it's anywhere from 5 to 10 books. So I don't really count that as a lot, but some people might. So I'll let you decide on the scale on where I fit in on that one. And I'd like to know your opinion below. So let me know if you think I actually do a lot of rereading between 5 to 10 books, or if that is actually on the small side. Question number 2. Has that changed over your rereading life? I'd probably say no. I've always read this kind of amount when I'm rereading book series. It hasn't really changed at all. Maybe once or twice I haven't read a series in a year, but I wouldn't say that's the normal for me. I tend to reread at least once a year. On the odd occasion I don't, so it hasn't really changed. Question number 3. When do you reread? Maybe immediately after finishing a book, or not 2 years later, or when your mood strikes? For me, it's when the mood strikes, and that leads perfectly into the next question. Question 4. Why do you reread? For me, it's one of 2 reasons. The first one is when I'm in a bit of a slump or I'm feeling a bit down at the moment. So I've got these go-to series that I like to reread when I'm just feeling a bit miserable or down or just in a slump with reading, and they're my favourite that I can pick up and I can enjoy any time, and I know they'll actually cheer me up no matter what. I have about 3 series along those kind of lines that are my go-to. The other time I reread is if at the moment there's no particular books out in the next month or 2 that I'm particularly looking forward to. So there might be 1 or 2 books coming out, but not enough to keep my reading going. That's when I'll pick up a particularly long series and read through the entire thing to keep me going until a new book comes out that I'm really looking forward to. Question 5. How do you reread? Faster, slower, or just the best bits? I don't actually reread faster, slower, or just the best bits. I read exactly the same as I would the first time through. I just sit down and enjoy it at my own pace. I don't like skipping over bits because the thing is, when I reread a book, I tend to find bits that I might have missed the first time, which makes it even better when rereading. Question 6. Who or what do you reread? More specifically, which authors or genres or individual books? For me, it tends to be 3 particular book series. The first one is The Last of the Rain Shy series by Mikizuka Reichart. The other 2 books are isekai, and they're on the humorous side, so very funny books, very light-hearted, nothing too deep, nothing too worrisome about what's going to happen. So they're just something you can sit down, relax with, and not have to worry about, will the character suffer this, or is there suspense in it? It's just some light-hearted fun, which is normally the reason why I reread. Question 7. Is there a book you found better when you reread it? I tend to find all the books I've read again and again better. I haven't actually found one that I've actually found worse yet. I normally find bits that I might have read over by accident or my brain didn't quite take in the first time round. So I find little golden nuggets that I might have missed. And to me, that is the beauty about rereading. You pick up things that you might not have noticed the first time round because you just overlooked it because you wasn't quite sure on how the storyline would go, or your brain might have wandered over a particular page or 2, and rereading it again allows you to pick up those little bits that you missed, making the book just as enjoyable the second time, if not more sometimes. Question 8, and one that was worse. As I just said, I don't think I've reread a book that I actually found worse the second time round. I think this is more for the fact that I pick up books that I completely enjoyed the first time round, and I know I was going to like them the second time round. There are books in my collection that I don't particularly want to reread, It's not because I didn't enjoy them, it's just I got the full enjoyment out of them the first time. They could be ones I pick up like 5, 6, 7 years down the line, or they could be ones I never actually pick up again. And the last question, number 9. Which one book have you reread the most times? For me, this would have to be The Last of the Renshai series, specifically the very first one. I've reread the first book probably 16 or 17 times. Not because I prefer that book in particular, it's because every time a new book came out in the series, I read from the start all the way to the new book again. So I read the book. When number 2 came out, I read the first one again and then the second one. Then when the third one came out, I read the first, the second, and then the third, and so on until I got to the very last book in the series. And then I've just reread this series itself as a whole over and over again as well. So I'd say the very first, The Last of the Renshai, is my most read book. Anyway, thank you for watching my video today. Please remember to like and subscribe if you've liked my content, and comment down below. I look forward to seeing my next video.